You are now tuned in to the world's greatest. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high cloud, yeah, we keep it going down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. A-list candles slowly burning to the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay party while our feet get lost. Steady climbing, now we on top. It's not something you get, it's just something we got. 'Cause I don't know if you know we playing or not. Tonight, lights flashing when we step into place, and you can feel the raw excitement from the look on their face. It's like the prize right in front of my eyes to take, and the sky's the limit, got no time to waste. Tonight's the big go, strike quick but creep slow. The competition is out at the moment that we show. Countdown from 3, go, press X to reload. Yet they still try to topple the kingdom that we own. Outnumbered but outgunning, we're fearless and crowd stunning. Never been ever on record, there's no one to protect you. And we would still be right here if all the money was burned. But we stay bumping in your ear, 'cause the money was earned. Yo, you can find us climbing, setting the bar, or you can find us red carpet when we hitting it hard. 'Cause the truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars. 'Cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, high cloud, yeah, we keep it going down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. A-list candles slowly burning to the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay grinding while our feet get wide. We stay climbing, now we on top. It's not something you get, it's just something we got. 'Cause I don't know if you know we playing or not. Tonight, you tuning in to a lesson in skill. You hear the static on the dial and the message is real. And while you question our progression, never resting to heal, we keep it going, track stars, we the best in the field. Microphone check on a lyrical quest. We bring in 4-track tech, up the digital spec. And yo, it's crazy to think we went from rhyming the block to rhyming steady on the mic, and now we rise to the top. Yeah, we got our hater shades on, aviator tip view, so you haters stay gone. Like shooting nice, we got that game face on. 440 on the floor, man, is this thing on? Yo, you can find us sipping, drinking the bar, or you can find us blacked out when we hit it too hard. 'Cause the truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars. 'Cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, high cloud, yeah, we keep it going down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. A-list candles slowly burning to the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay climbing while our feet get wide. We stay climbing, now we on top. It's not something you get, it's just something we got. 'Cause I don't know if you know we playing or not. Tonight.
If you smell what the rock is cooking. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Royce Rock Jones.
And Sean Randy Smith, possibly for the last time, it depends if I come out my match in one piece.
Yes, today we come at you with a 2-in-1 special, and it is not often that we do this. And the reason for this special is that this upcoming weekend, for the second year in a row, WWE travels to Brooklyn, New York and the Barclays Center for 2 events on 2 similar nights. And we will start with Saturday night. NXT brings to you NXT Brooklyn. Takeover Brooklyn.
Yes. NXT Takeover Brooklyn, yes. It is going to be an amazing show.
Can it match what happened at last year's show? Some would probably say not, but we'll just have to wait and see. Sometimes I would say the action on NXT can outcross the action on the main roster.
That is true. That is very, very true.
So now we will take you through the matches that we have 100% confirmation on was going into NXT Takeover. Samoa Joe will defend the NXT Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes, Shinji Nakamura will finally get an opportunity at Samoa Joe's NXT title.
And this match came about really when Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Finn Balor in what was essentially Finn Balor's last but one match in NXT before being called up to the main roster in the draft that happened just over a month ago. And we will get into more with Finn Balor later on.
Yes, we will, but this match is definitely going to be a classic.
Next, we have a rematch, a long-awaited rematch from NXT Takeover Dallas as Asuka defends the NXT Women's Championship against Bayley.
Yes, Bayley. Can she become a two-time NXT Women's Champion, should I say?
And this match has had a lot of history behind it because Bayley went into NXT Takeover Dallas with the championship. Technically and officially, she never tapped out in that match, but lost consciousness and the match was awarded to Asuka.
Yes, it was.
Our next match is Andre Adams versus Bobby Roode. And no, you're not mishearing that, people who are fans of TNA or Impact Wrestling. Bobby Roode is now on the WWE.
Yes, he is. He made his debut quite recently, and let's be honest, his theme song isn't really glorious at all.
That's because he's portraying himself as a heel.
Correct.
Now, we asked a question a few moments ago whether Bayley could become a two-time NXT Women's Champion. Now, the superstars who have already become two-time NXT Tag Team Champions were rivals who did that by defeating American Alpha or the world's greatest tag team 2.0.
Yes, of course.
Scott Dawson and Das Wilder will defend the NXT Tag Team Champions against Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Unusual names, but I hope the Revival can retain their NXT tag titles.
No Way Joes will face another person who made a name for himself in Impact Wrestling. Who remembers the days when superstars jumped from WWE to TNA and now they're jumping back and forth like a yo-yo?
Yes, and the man who we're referring to is Austin Aries.
Although Austin Aries has been in WWE down in NXT for a little longer, so he's not so much as a surprise.
No, but I'm expecting another win for Double A himself.
The final match on the NXT Takeover card is Ember Moon versus Billie Kay.
To be honest, this
Not-
match will be good.
Can be good, probably will be good, but we haven't really got a lot of information to give away on this.
Yeah. Now moving from NXT Takeover Brooklyn to the biggest party of the summer,
Yes. SummerSlam, or as one legendary announcer used to say, it's time for the main event.
Hey, there you go.
And bear with us because we have 11 matches. No, you did not hear me incorrectly. 11 matches on the card with a lot of stories behind them.
And also, it's going to be longer than Raw. It's 4 hours.
Yes, probably because of it's like the 29th or something annual SummerSlam. But SummerSlam, like WrestleMania, will be a 4-hour show this year, or WrestleMania was more like a 5-hour show this year.
Matches you are looking forward to seeing.
The first match was the first match announced on the card, and it was announced, I believe, just a few days before one of their participants made a return to UFC 200.
Yes, it's going to be
The Beast incarnate, and incidentally the cover boy of WWE 2K17, Brock Lesnar, will go one-on-one with the Viper, Randy Orton. Yes,
Yeah.
remember Randy Orton? Feels like I haven't announced him in a match for almost a year. Wait a minute, that's because he hasn't been on a pay-per-view in almost a year.
Yes, injured my shoulder.
Now, this match is a dream match because it's been 14 to 15 years in the making.
It has been that long. Yes, it has.
Because both Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton made their main debuts in WWE back in 2002.
Yes, they did.
Initially, I would say that Brock Lesnar found success more quickly when he defeated yours truly, The Rock, for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam in 2002.
Correct.
And Randy Orton had to change his gimmick in the 2003 area.
Yes, when I was part of Evolution.
But then Brock Lesnar decided that full-time wrestling wasn't for him, so he went away from the company, and Orton found success as a Intercontinental Champion,
Yep.
Tag Team Champion, and I believe his count at the minute is 14 World Championship reigns.
Correct. Yes.
So, who knows what will happen when Suplex City travels through Viperville, when the Legend Killer faces the Beast, when the 1 in 23-1 faces the Legend Killer.
And yes, it's one of my final broadcasts on this program because I don't know what state I'm going to be in after the match.
Next, we have a match which will determine a brand new champion in WWE, which we will get to momentarily. But this will feature Finn Balor. Remember we mentioned him a few minutes ago? We'll go one-on-one with Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship. Now, this is going to take some explaining.
It is.
Just about a month ago, WWE did a brand split just before Battleground.
Right.
At that time, Dean Ambrose was the WWE champion, and he went into Battleground to face Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, who were both members of the Raw roster.
Yes.
Ambrose won that match and kept the WWE Championship, leaving Raw without a
Main champion.
So the next night on Raw, Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley announced the creation of the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins was given an automatic buy into this match.
Of course.
The next superstar to be in that match would be determined by winning two matches in one night. Excuse me.
Yeah. And the winner of those 2 matches was?
The winners of those 2 matches were Finn Balor and Roman Reigns, who would go on to face each other later in that night. And as if Roman Reigns had not been punished enough for his wellness violation, which left him suspended on the build to Battleground, they punished him even more by having him lose this match, thus creating this Finn Balor vs Seth Rollins match at SummerSlam. And we are yet to see what the design of this Universal Championship will be.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and also the match will be interesting as well, because we have 2 former NXT champions in the ring.
Yes, we have the first ever NXT champion in Seth Rollins against the man who is the longest reigning NXT champion in Finn Balor. Match number 3 is written back to SmackDown's WWE World Championship. Following his victory at Battleground, a 6-pack challenge match was put on SmackDown to determine the number 1 contender for the WWE World Championship.
It was eventually won by Dolph Ziggler.
Or as you could possibly have him determined now as Shawn Michaels 2.0 because of the way he is going about himself. As for the other participants in this match, well, we will be talking about a few of them in a while, because the other this match was between John Cena, Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews.
Yes. In terms of the actual match between Dean Ambrose and Ziggler, I don't personally mind who wins.
I don't necessarily mind who wins. I personally think that Dean Ambrose will keep the championship, because after being worried that they would only use Ambrose as a sort of transitional champion, this run of his is actually going on longer than I thought it would, and I would like it to see it continue for just a little bit longer.
Okay. Alright.
Match number 4 is John Cena versus AJ Styles, a match we saw at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and a match we saw in part at Battleground in a 6-man tag team match. However, this time there should be no outside interference by the club.
Nope, since the club was split in the draft.
This match has potential to be good, because we know that AJ Styles can work, and John Cena, as much as the fans may not like him, is actually a good worker himself when he's not whispering instructions in the wrestler's ear.
Yeah, correct. Cena to win.
You say that, but as we've been talking about before coming on air, John Cena's SummerSlam record is not all that good. He has not won a SummerSlam match since his feud with Nexus in 2010. and he has not won a singles match at SummerSlam.
Since then.
Well, since I should say since last year, but before his match with Seth Rollins at last year's SummerSlam, which was interfered by Jon Stewart, who apparently is being advertised to appear at this year's SummerSlam. But John Cena's last singles match win at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam, apologies, was in 2007.
Yes. Now we're going to go on to a match which has a little bit of a demotion about it.
Yes. There's always been a saying in WWE called "Don't cross the boss." Don't annoy the person who signs your paychecks.
And that's what Roman Reigns seems to have got when Roman Reigns will take on Rusev for the United States Championship.
This match doesn't have that big of a story behind it, other than it was last week, I believe, on Raw when Rusev and Lana were celebrating their wedding. They had their wedding cake in the ring, decorations and all that. And anyone who has watched WWE over the years knows that whenever there's food in the WWE ring, it is not going to end well.
No, it doesn't. And that's what happened to Lana. After Reigns uppercutted Rusev in the jaw, Rusev went backwards into Lana, and Lana went face first into the wedding cake.
Yes, this happened after Roman Reigns interrupted the wedding celebration to challenge Rusev to a United States Championship match. Rusev turned him down. This mini brawl happened before Mick Foley officially made the match. And that match was also used to extend another angle of another match, which we will get into slightly later.
Yeah.
Our next match is the first of two women's championships, and it features the women's champion Sasha Banks defending against Charlotte. Now wait a minute, I know what you're thinking. Sasha Banks, women's champion? When did that happen?
It happened quite recently.
As I'm sure you recall, at Battleground we saw Dana Brooke and Charlotte face Sasha Banks and a mystery partner who turned out to be Bayley. Bayley and Sasha Banks won that match. Well, the next night on Raw, Sasha Banks would get a women's championship match in which she played a little Eddie Guerrero style move to get Dana Brooke ejected from ringside, but would eventually get Charlotte to tap out to the Banks statement, making her the new women's champion. Then of course Charlotte would not take that lying down and would invoke her rematch for SummerSlam. However, a few weeks ago on Raw, Sasha Banks had a match with Dana Brooke with the stipulation that if Dana Brooke won, then the match would become a 2-on-1 handicap match. But if Sasha Banks won, Dana Brooke would be banned from ringside.
And of course, Sasha won her match, thus banning Dana Brooke from ringside.
Our next match is yet another championship match. I know what you're thinking. They should have called this Summer of Champions or Champions Slam.
Defending his Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews.
Well, I wasn't going to get to that match yet, but okay, we will talk about that match then. Yes, for Miz, who has held the Intercontinental Championship since the day after WrestleMania when he defeated poor Zack Ryder, is defending the championship against a NXT call-up in Apollo Crews. Now, we've already mentioned Apollo Crews was one of the superstars in the six-pack challenge.
Yeah.
However, it was like a week after that, there was a triple threat match on SmackDown to determine who would face The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. And I will admit, I was slightly surprised as to who won that match. Because I believe that was a triple threat match between Kalisto, Baron Corbin, and Apollo Crews.
In which Apollo Crews did pick up the win.
As I've already mentioned. But I would have thought that they could possibly have done something with Kalisto, considering how the Lucha Dragons are now split up. Or even launched Baron Corbin after he was done beating up Dolph Ziggler for the 10,000th time. But no, they decided to go up with another NXT call-up, which is okay. I know some fans don't want Apollo Crews to be crowned Intercontinental Champion just because he's a new guy on the block and he needs to be around a bit longer before he's actually given the championship, which in some ways I can agree with, but in other ways I think that if The Miz is going to say now go off and do some kind of movie or some kind of outside WWE activity, then they're gonna want to take the belt off him.
Yeah. Well, what was the match you were going to get to?
The match I was going to get to was the Tag Team Championship match, where It's a New Day, yes it is, will be who at this point will have been Tag Team Champions for practically exactly 1 year, because they won the Tag Team Championships at last year's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Will defend the titles against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And normally, the New Day would have
Numbers advantage.
the numbers advantage. However, due to some tactics by Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, that is no longer the case, as they have injured Big E in a manner which I am not sure is
Legal.
well. I wasn't gonna say legal. I was gonna say not suited for this broadcast.
Yes, and now the club are calling it ring post itis.
Otherwise known as a fact in the area downstairs.
Yes. But I've got this nasty feeling that the club are going to pick up their first ever WWE Tag Team Championship reign.
Yes, I will admit, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I would be surprised if the New Day would retain the titles in this match, because I mean they've been tag team champions for a year.
But there's one next match I want to keep my eyes on because of one diva.
You're still jumping the gun here.
Oh yes, I am. Still thinking about Brock Lesnar.
We have another tag team match with How You Doing in Enzo and Cass facing Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, or Jericho KO.
Yes, a new team has formed, ladies and gentlemen. A very bad name, but the team's not going to last long. I guarantee you that.
You say that Jericho KO is a bad name. It's no more worse than for Golden Truth or Breezango.
Oh yeah, that's true. But this match, I can see Enzo and Cass will
This match should be an Enzo and Cass win, and to be fair, it what another match. It is one of the matches on the card which doesn't have too big of a story behind it, other than the fact that Jericho and Owens don't really like Enzo and Cass.
Never do.
And they were slightly annoyed with their position for being picked in the draft.
Yeah. But what is the match up next, though, after that tag match?
The match after that is a best of 7 series match, which is going to expand a long time. But it's the first match, but technically it's the third match, because Cesaro and Sheamus will go at it in the first of a best of 7 match series. But they've already faced each other 2 times on Raw, in which both victories went to Cesaro.
Personally, Cesaro should make it 3-0.
Yes, but I don't think they will because of the way WWE books. Now, this has started as a way of trying to impress Stephanie and Foley. After the winning 2 matches, we mentioned this thing with Rusev and Reigns and Lana. Well, Cesaro came out and basically said that he was doing a championship match. So we had a United States Championship match then, until Sheamus comes down and costs Cesaro the match. So this past Monday night on Raw, Sheamus is having a match against Sami Zayn, when Cesaro shows up and costs him the match. The two start wanting to get at each other backstage.
When Mick Foley breaks it up,
Well, he says that he's all for impressing people. But he doesn't want people to interfere in each other's matches, and we're going to settle this in not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 matches.
Yes.
My only issue with this match, and I think it's an issue that has been voiced by several people, is that the whole point of the brand split is that you're not supposed to see the same people in the ring constantly, week after week after week after week. Like we did with Corbin and Ziggler. But to get this best of 7 series, that's what they're going to have to do on Raw. The final match is a kind of weird match, and realistically it has no real storyline behind it whatsoever.
No.
And it's a 6-women tag team match between Carmella, Becky Lynch, and Naomi, who has a new look, against Natalya, all Red Everything, Eva Marie, who has been dodging matches left, right and centre for the past few weeks, and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. The thing about Marie skipping matches, let's say she's sprained her ankle.
She's had
She
a
had a
wardrobe malfunction and been stuck in traffic.
No, before we went on the air, if they want Eva Marie to be a proper heel, they need to do what? What, Reach the Rock?
In this kind of situation, what I would not at all be surprised if they did, if they wanted to have Eva Marie as this kind of character, is have her out of the match until the very end when she comes in and gets the winning pinfall or submission move.
Yes. Realistically, we are saying Becky Lynch's team for the win.
Yes, because I'll be honest, the thing that I despise the most about Eva Marie and Eva Marie's character is that she is everything that women's wrestling used to be 10 years ago in the WWE when it was considered a joke.
Yes, true. And that brings an end to SummerSlam, or the SummerSlam pre-show, and NXT Takeover New York show.
Yes, we will come at you possibly earlier than we have this week with our results to NXT and SummerSlam. And our reactions. Well, I'll come at you whether my partner will is another thing. He may be in hospital bed somewhere.
Yes, I probably might be somewhere.
But until sometime next week, I am Lisa Rock Jones and he is
Sean Randy Smith, possibly for the last time.
saying so on and see you later.